Welcome to 40 Below Zero, an international podcast about life with invisible illnesses, hosted by two guys living with multiple sclerosis. Coming to you from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, I'm your co-host Nix, and with me on this ride is Terry, a Londoner who calls Ontario home. We're so happy you're here with us as we continue to try and normalize a life that is anything but. So let's get into it. Welcome back, Warriors. It's good to have you back at the show. Hope you are all doing well. Terry, my man, you know I'm not a fan of the weeks off.
Yo, me too. Yeah.
I can honestly say I missed you, and I missed being here doing all this stuff. Whew.
Yeah,
So,
me too, man. I really feel it. Has it only been a week off? Feels like a
yeah,
month.
yeah. And do you remember? Do you remember way back when we first started, we only did 2 shows a month?
Yeah, I do remember
That
that.
that felt like we felt. It felt really quick, but looking back, it's like, man, that's
But that was only for a month or two.
yeah.
And then we
We
were
we
like,
got
yo, we gotta speed it up here.
we got tired of that real quick.
I need therapy weekly, bro. Definitely weekly.
All right, so we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. It was very busy off time, so to speak, but let's start with you.
Just so everyone knows, we did not plan to wear red shirts today.
No, no. Um, you and I have been talking a little bit a day or two ago, and some things have been happening. You had a very interesting week.
Yeah. Um, dude, it's not even interesting. It's
It's
the
interesting to me.
usual. Yeah. Okay. So you know I like to game,
Hmm.
and it's funny because I was, okay, I have no core balance. We all know this already.
Right.
Everyone's heard it a million times. I have a belt made for me for my chair, but I don't tell anyone. It happened again. I don't tell anyone because, uh, it's my ego. I don't want people to imagine I'm a lot worse than I really am. I don't know. It's an
Right.
ego thing. I just don't want to tell people I have a seatbelt for my chair. I don't use it, but at nighttime, it'd be cool if I used it because sometimes when I'm doing something in front of me, I have no balance and I always fall over.
Hmm.
So it'd be cool to
Hmm.
stabilize me on the chair. So anyway, I don't wear it. It's cool. It's a cool device. Uh, Video gaming, yeah, bro. It's not convenient, okay? Because
I get it.
I gotta rush to the washroom. I gotta take it off, and it's not convenient.
Now, do you use it when you're out of the house?
No, no way, bro. I know it's my ego, but I
Okay.
don't need to use it. Like it's not a thing I need all the time. But it would,
Okay.
at night times when I'm really fatigued, you
Hmm.
know. Anyway, so I'm video gaming. There's like three people. We're all chatting, and all of a sudden I am losing my balance because I'm getting into the game. So I'm going down. I can't. It's embarrassing. Yes, I'm going down. I'm really getting into it, and then I kind of lost my balance, and I was like leaning to the forward to the right, and I knew I lost my balance, and I was trying to pick myself up because usually I'm sitting on my chair properly, but I wasn't. I was leaning, so I started to lose my balance, and I'm like, oh boy, I'm not going down. I'm not going down. I was fighting it, and then I was like, my balance was gone. So you know what I did? I muted my on my controller. I muted myself because I
Right.
knew it. I'm going down, and and then I go down slowly. You know how I always go down slowly. So now I'm on the
Uh-huh.
floor, and I'm like, what the, I'm all upset. Sorry for my language. I'm all upset because, dude, I'm on the floor, and and my character is not moving anymore. So my friends are like, oh, what's going on with Terry?
I
And
don't
I'm
mean to
there.
laugh.
No, no, laugh, please. Please. I don't want anyone to be like, oh, are you okay? It's not about that. So I'm on the floor and I'm like, all right, I breathe. I know I gotta get up. It's gonna take me 3 minutes because I gotta catch my breath and all that crap. And they're like, oh, where's Terry? And it's funny. And then I get up in my chair, I take a good breath and I unmute myself. I'm like, oh guys, what's up? And they're like, hey, what happened? I'm like, my controller died. I had to replace my controller. And I now they know. Now they know. So I have a buddy who I play with. So I play with Tanya and her husband, but I have a buddy who doesn't have MS and he
Okay.
doesn't get it. So
Oh.
I couldn't say anything, but afterwards I told Tanya, I'm like, yo, just so you know, I was off my chair. And she's like, you're not gonna wear your seatbelts? I'm like, no, I'm not wearing my seatbelt.
The first thing she says.
But you know what I'm saying though? Like it was that's and I didn't like and I'm thinking this guy's gonna say any falls this week. I'm like, well, actually,
Yeah.
since since you manifested it,
I would say we'll characterize that as a slide, Terry. That wasn't so much a fall.
you know what? I like that. For now on, I'm gonna say, yeah,
Just a slide.
yeah, I slid down.
Just eased on out of the chair there.
Yeah. So that
Oh,
was
it would the only thing that would have been better is if, like you said, the character stopped moving, but it would have been better if the character fell over too. So that it both happened at the same. I mean, I'm glad you
yeah.
didn't get hurt, but what were you playing?
Dead by Daylight Eve.
Oh yeah,
It's
okay.
just a little scary game, just for
Yep.
fun. Yeah. Yeah. So that happened, and I didn't tell Katrina
Uh,
until the next day, and I told her like, something funny that happened, and I knew the first thing she's gonna say is, "Didn't I make you that belt?" so yeah. So anybody
all the
else lose
comments.
their balance while sitting in a wheelchair?
Mm, that's a good question. Maybe
By
that's
the
why
way,
they all come with seatbelts.
do they?
Mine did. Yeah,
What are you
it
talking
came.
about? Like, are they attached to the chair?
Yeah, there's D rings on the side about where my hips are, and there was a seatbelt threaded through it. It was a
I
Velcro
didn't.
seatbelt,
Okay. Now I know. I didn't know that.
and also like, excuse me, also like you, it was one of the first things to go. So I don't wear mine either.
The back of the chair, the two wheels,
Uh-huh.
that
Oh,
was the
that went.
first thing to go.
Yeah, that was a month in. I was
They're
like,
like,
no,
but
these
what
are
if you
gone.
tilt? I'm like, get the shit out of here.
Yeah, living
So,
life dangerously, Terry.
yeah. Yeah. So you ask people to come up with these drawings of what their
Oh yeah,
MS looks like.
yeah. How'd that go?
So here's a story with that. I got a couple drawings.
Oh,
I was
cool.
like, oh, thanks. That's really cool. And then I got a few comments total. I got two drawings and then a few other comments. One comment said, "Can I use AI?" I said,
Uh,
"Hell yeah." No,
yeah,
no, but that's
yeah.
okay because
Not everyone's
I
an artist.
how do you expect me to hold my pencil, my pen, my whatever? It's difficult. And then that's when I'm like, "Oh, you're totally right." And then since someone else said, "Can I use AI?" I said, "Hey, you can always use AI, but then how do I use AI?" You know what I mean? Like I can't
Yeah,
explain to that, but I'm telling everybody now, if you do want to use AI and come up with some graphic drawing or whatever of what you think MS looks like, go for it. Let us know, email us. In
and
fact, you can email us what you think MS looks like, and I think Nick will draw it for you.
oh yeah, yep. It'll be a bunch of stick figures running around.
We got a stick figure drawing.
Arr. But curiously, we live in a time when you can ask AI to draw something from AI. That's
Yeah, but I
very
think
deep, very deep.
you got to pay for the good ones.
Yeah.
You know what? I will show you a preview
Okay.
of two of them, and then the third one was done by AI.
All right. No problem.
I put them together. Obviously, you can see.
Okay.
So the left one here, I think that's a cape. I don't know.
No, you know what?
Oh,
I feel like they're dragging something.
dude, you're so right. I just realized that.
Yep. Yep.
I
I
just
feel like
realized
they're
that. This one here, I love. The middle
feels
one,
like
why?
why? Oh, because it's chaos.
It's chaos. It's
Yeah.
a mess.
Ah, I get it.
Different colors. And then this one, okay, obviously, like it's a scary,
Yeah. I
you
like
know.
them all. I think the one on the left, I feel like there's some like compression.
Mm,
It looks like swollen and just like the face gives me a feeling of like uneasiness or and like tired. So I'm trying to
yeah,
interpret it, but I get what they're going for. All very good.
yeah, yeah.
So
I like
good
the middle
job.
one just because it's a mess. But yeah, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what else we get.
They're
Hopefully
great.
we get a lot more. Cool. So that's that. I was given a magazine that has all the accessible spots in the states that I can go to and enjoy.
Really?
Yeah, I scanned a couple pages. I wanted to show you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even have that.
It's pretty cool.
Where'd you get that from?
Man, I should
Well, I'll tell you this. We'll we'll figure it out or put it up on the website. Link it down below if you can, because I think there's a ton of people who would love to see that magazine,
Oh
myself
yeah, for
included.
sure. For sure. Fun for all. It shows you, look, that's pretty cool. Like
That's
this is
cool.
just one of the pages. I know here's what I was going to complain about. There's two pages and that's the whole states. I'm sorry, bro. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there's not even a page for Canada, but here's one page. Let me just open the second page. And I wanted to have fun with you with this page. You'll see what I'm talking about. Yes, this is the awkward time. Here we go.
Oh, yes, look at that thing. I want one
Okay.
of those.
Yes, I know. Me too. Okay. So the bottom three, see the bottom three here?
Yes.
They, the scan cut out where they're located.
Really? Okay.
So here's the trivia, Nick.
Oh, geez.
Where's Peppa Pig theme park?
Not a
Honestly,
clue.
don't even ask me because I don't even know the answers right now.
Not a
So,
clue.
okay. What about World War II Memorial?
That's in DC, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I
It's
was gonna
Washington.
say they're
That's the
all
only
down
one I
there.
know.
They're all down there.
Anyway, so there's a couple pages that I saw, and it was pretty cool that they have, you know.
Yeah, those are the only two places you can go though. Okay.
Anyway,
But I know there's an app that tells you, pretty much everywhere where it's accessible, and it takes it's like crowdfunded or crowdsourced, I should say. So you can become like an admin and add your experience as you go to different places. They have like a form that you fill out no matter where you go.
yeah,
I think it's uh,
I've heard
accessibility
about that app. Yeah,
accessibility go.
and there's
Oh,
a guy who we're gonna get on the show. His Alex, and he has a website called Come On In, or an app called Come On In, and he does the
okay.
same thing where
Oh,
he writes
perfect.
all the accessible spots. I think it's in the States. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, that's what we need more of, right? To
Oh
know,
yeah.
you know. I went
Yep.
to a restaurant yesterday and the washroom was amazing.
Wouldn't be a
You,
show without a washroom story there.
you laugh, bro, but it was amazing.
No, I
You didn't even have to touch the button. It's the wave.
oh, there you go. Now they're getting it.
It's the wave. And then you go inside, and you know what's amazing?
What's
The
that?
door opens, and then you go inside, and it closes 3 seconds later,
Oh, that's
not
perfect.
30 seconds later.
Yeah, that's
When
perfect.
you really got to go pee, and you go inside, and you're like, damn, and you can't close the door because it's heavy and it's automated. I know someone else understands what I mean.
Well, I
It was,
do, for sure. But I was thinking, the ultimate goal for all of this accessibility information would be to, and I can say this because AI is listening, so it'll take it and it'll make it happen. To integrate the accessibility information into apps like Waze and Google Maps and Apple Maps, so that way, when you search a location, not only can you know the accessibility, but then you get directions. Now, if that already exists, it's just me not using it, but I think we need to put it all in one spot. So, like I said, now that the machine overlords heard me say it, they'll make it happen.
yeah, I know what you're saying. I think it says accessibility, but I don't know how detailed it is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We have to put the details in it.
I agree with you.
Oh, something I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Have you been watching the Paralympics?
No,
What?
no.
It has been amazing.
Tell
If
me.
I haven't been watching it live, I've been kept catching the recaps and the highlights. Um, it's just incredible to see these athletes do it. And uh, highlight for me was watching Team USA oust Team Canada from wheelchair rugby.
Re- Really? You just talking about
Really? No, I
it?
watched it. Now, I don't know if it's they have like a round robin where they can come back in. You have to lose two to be out, but I think it's
Yeah.
one and done.
Yeah.
Um, if you have you ever watched that sport?
Bro, I don't know how to play rugby at all.
No, I'm just saying, have you ever watched them play wheelchair rugby?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you gotta. They did a great documentary years ago called Murder Ball,
Okay.
and I saw the documentary when it came out, and these guys are insane. And women, it's a co-ed league. The injuries that you can get, it's nuts. So the object is you have to get the ball across your opponent's goal. Now, it's a volleyball,
Yeah.
and you have to this the blocking that occurs, just the it's something like demolition derby with wheelchairs.
Okay. Okay. That's really dangerous, bro. You trying to knock people out?
Well, sometimes people get knocked over, sometimes hands get smashed in between wheels. So like if you have the ball, I have to maneuver myself to you and try to remove that ball from your lap or your hand.
Okay.
And obviously you're going to fight me off or you're going to try to pass the ball so I can intercept it. Like there's a whole and they play it in like on a basketball court style, you know, floor.
And it's an actual volleyball looking ball.
No,
It's not
it's
a rugby ball.
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So it can be bounced or you can throw it. It's crazy.
So there's different rules,
Oh
obviously.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very well established and sanctioned sport, and like they even have referees that call
Of
like
course.
so
And
like
what
in
I- what
soccer, you know how you can't they have offsides like they do in soccer.
yeah.
Like you can't sit in the goal and cherry pick.
Dude, rugby is the only sport I don't know how to play. And I
Yeah.
know everything except for rugby. And I've seen rugby a lot because my brother used to play rugby a lot and I just never
Okay.
understood it.
But yeah, check it out. Wheelchair
Yeah.
rugby.
And the
It's
murder ball,
crazy. Yeah, it's a
why does that
documentary.
sound it's a documentary, that's why.
Yep.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, because it won a bunch of awards.
Okay, that's why.
Um,
Okay. I'm gonna YouTube that as soon as we're done because I'm so
so
curious what it
but
looks
yeah,
like.
I'm telling you, the way the way that the different events are set up and the different grading of the disabilities and just how they just the logistics of everything is crazy, but it's amazing to watch. And yeah, I'm hooked. They're to me way more exciting than the regular Olympics, and the Olympics are good. I like watching them, but these I was like locked in.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
should have been watching too, honestly. I just so
I
many
w-
things to do.
yeah.
When I'm just curious, when their finger gets jammed, do you see the expression? Do you see them go, ow,
Well, yeah, but they wear special gloves. They have specially designed chairs.
armored
There's no
gloves? Yeah, yeah.
the wheels don't have visible spokes. They have like solid plates on them so that
Okay.
they don't get stuck in there.
Yeah.
Um, but if you're going full speed to try to, you know, block the opponent and the opponent's going full speed, sometimes collisions occur. It's pretty nuts. They go really, really hard. But you can see like the battle scars on the different wheelchairs of where they've taken impacts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
When people fall off chairs, they just, because I know a lot of people, when I was playing wheelchair basketball once, you fall down, they just get right back up,
yep. It
because not a lot of people have zero
it's very
legs,
similar. It's
basically.
very similar to that in
Yeah.
the sense of how the mechanics of the game kind of work.
Yeah.
Just the scoring is different. Um, and I probably did. They're probably going to get a ton of comments about that, but um, so yeah, no, check it out. You won't be disappointed. Except for the fact that if you happen to watch that match, you'll watch Canada lose. So that'll be the only disappointment.
I will check it out. I'm really curious how it's played in a wheelchair.
I was.
Because wheelchair basketball is really aggressive, man.
This is that. This is. I would
Hmm.
say this is on that level, if not more. Um, Yeah. So yeah, I forgot. I was
Cool.
watching those all week.
Nice.
Let's see. My week. What did I do? Oh, I got my MRI results.
Yeah.
Had an MRI,
Oh,
got the results.
okay.
Um, I got basically the best news we can get is no new lesions, stable. Thank you.
Okay.
No new lesions. That's the best news.
Yep.
And then the phrase stable demyelination,
Nice.
which that phrase is kind of interesting because if you pull it apart, you can focus on the stable and you're like, oh yeah, I'm stable. Or but when you put them together, you're stably you're demyelinating in a stable manner, consistent with MS. So really, it's a stable slide, but it's stable when no new lesions. We'll focus on that.
Yeah. Because yeah, I understand that.
Yep.
It's such a nice way to put it. Like, hey, you got no new lesions, but you still have MS and you're progressively going down eventually,
Right.
but it's stable.
A nice controlled
It's
descent.
not aggressive. How
Right.
about that?
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah, no. So I was very happy with the results. Actually, my daughter, we she actually asked to review it with me because I leave with the CD and I can look at all the images and stuff. She was very interested to see it for the first time, and I was excited because now that she's old enough to actually understand what she's looking at. I mean, it's the first time I've ever shown her, or if she's even ever asked. But being old enough now to understand what's happening and what everything means and not be like terrified of it any more than we are. I mean, obviously we're all concerned and she is too, but just seeing the images, she knew that it wasn't like the end today. So it was nice to be able to explain it to her finally. And it certainly helps that she's currently taking two different neuroscience classes in her psychology.
Cool.
When she's going to college for clinical, I'm sorry, research psychology. So to be able to have a real world example of, oh, this lesion in this location, it affects, he was now able to connect the dots to understand
Yeah.
why I don't walk appropriately, why I can't see correctly, because man, my optic neuritis is super evident when you start looking at the MRI.
Okay.
So she was very happy to get to quite literally get an inside look at my MS. So it was nice. And I'm glad I got to do it.
It seems like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're living with MS, it's okay. If you first get diagnosed, it's different. But if you're living with MS and it's been a year or two, it's less scary than the person outside knowing that you have MS because they're just imagining, something else,
Yeah, I
you
get
know.
it. Yeah, we
And
always go to the worst.
yeah, and
So
that's why I hate telling people what actual problems are with me because I don't want them to imagine the worst. I don't know, but yeah.
yeah, I understand, but it was
Well, I'm
nice.
glad that she's getting educated in that sense. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah,
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
she actually took a bunch of my images, and she's going to use them in her class. So whatever I told her, I said, you can take any image you want, you can share them with whoever,
Yeah.
because the more information that's out there, and the more you can talk about it, the more somebody might go, oh, because you never know. Even her up at school, she doesn't know whose family member is impacted by whatever. And if
Yeah.
and if she shares like, hey, this is my dad, this is his MS, this is what it looks like. Because you can clearly see all the lesions. It's not even it's not even hard.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
if she says it and then maybe somebody's like, oh, and then you never know what it's gonna trigger. So very happy that we
That's
did
really
that.
cool, man. Yeah. That's cool. Awareness, awareness, awareness,
You
right?
get it. You get it. And that was really nice because we just the reason why we didn't have a show last week is because we were moving her back up to college. Um, I don't know whether to call it her junior or her senior year. It's her third year, but she has enough credits that by the end of this year, she's going to graduate with her bachelor's degree.
Okay.
So I don't know what to call it. I'm calling it her senior year. Um, but the school technically calls it the other one. So she's graduating a year early as far as the normal course goes. So I'm very proud
Nice.
of her. Yeah, she's definitely hitting her stride up at college. It was definitely
Yeah.
time. So
So when we started this, she was in her second year or going into the first year?
uh
She just finished her first year. She was going into the second.
yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Either high school was wrapping. Yeah, she was already graduated. Yeah, so she started my youngest was graduating. So but now she's got like a whole like clinical mind now. Like she was always interested in this kind of stuff and she always
Bro,
had a passion for it, but
I
like
can't
she's just
believe
growing.
you have grown up kids, man.
Yeah. I have adults, which is crazy
Weird.
to think, you know, it's wild to think that when I was first diagnosed, they were 10 and 9. And because of what we had just said or you had just said, I withheld a lot of the information from them because they already thought that I was honestly they honestly thought I was going to die. They were very scared, because they're little kids. So I
Didn't
didn't
we
I told them nothing.
we talked about this last time, right?
Yeah, we
And I
did.
said, is it better for your kids to, you know, to
Yeah.
know, like, would you rather have had them, you have MS before they were born or when they were 10, 9?
Never. You walked into that one,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I
And
get it.
I'm noticing the my video is wonky today. So,
That's okay.
okay, one thing I got to talk to you about
Sure.
is I'm really glad you told me that you passed out at the dinner table. I'll tell you
Oh,
why.
look, when I black out, like when I fall asleep, but it's like a blackout. Okay.
You faded. Yeah, your fatigue hit. You were
Okay.
done. I'll tell you why. Because that's never happened to me before. Okay. And I was eating, and after the meal, I guess I just faded out and I just lowered my head and I zonked out and I took a little nap, whatever. It wasn't really a nap. It was just, I, okay, let's call it a nap. But Katrina didn't want to bother me. She's like, hey, I'm going to go upstairs. I hope you're okay. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. She went up. It's fine. But the reason why I'm glad you told me is after that, I don't feel alone, bro. I'm so glad you shared because I'm like, man, what's going on with me? Why am I fatiguing out like that? And, and it worries me. But the fact that you said something gives me the strength to speak about it too, in case other people go through that. Dude, I fatigued out as well. I get it. And that only happened once. And it wasn't during the food, it was after I ate. So, I was safe. It wasn't like I was going to dip my head into the soup.
Right, right. Yeah. No,
So,
it's
yeah,
scary, isn't it, when you open your eyes and you realize that time has passed and
yeah.
I mean, you and I have a friend who we won't mention, but you and I have a friend who suffers with narcolepsy and this person it happens a
Hmm.
lot. So
Hmm.
so what you and I go through is very similar. Um and you know what, dude? It actually happened yesterday again to me.
Okay.
The heat must have gotten to me. I didn't think that I did too much. I don't I don't really know what I was doing, but I know I sat down and then an hour and a half went by.
Wow.
And it's
Okay.
just that quick. So thank God I was sitting down in my living room.
S- See, that hasn't happened to me, man. So you just pass out. You don't even know you're about to nap.
No, yeah. I know
Okay.
that I'm tired. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, yeah, of
I'm
course.
just gonna sit down for a few because I got nothing to do. And then as soon as I sit down, it's like
Yeah, yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah,
Just done.
yeah.
So it is scary.
Yeah. I fight it. I fight it. I know what you feel. I fight it. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, no. And I know if I put my head down, I'm out.
Yep. Yeah.
But
So I just, I've gotten to the point where I kind of acknowledge that there's like I get to a point in my day where it's like, okay, I have nothing to do for the next few hours or next however long. Let me just
mhm.
sit down, see what happens. And usually what happens is I sleep. Um, so like I said, luckily I'm in a safe place and I'm comfortable. Like luckily, not in any danger. But yeah, I'm sorry that happened, man. But you got to pay attention to it. It's going to happen probably more as you go along.
You know, I don't like telling people this stuff because I worry of what they imagine. Like
Yeah,
if I tell someone, you know, like there's things with my body right now that's scary and it's normal and I'm okay and I'm living through it. But I don't feel like I can tell people because they'll just expect or they'll imagine something else. And it's like, no, no, it's not that bad. But dude, I'm going to tell you, I've said this before. I can't, especially in the evenings, I cannot keep myself upright anymore. I need
I'm
my
sure.
arms to keep me up. I need, if I tilt one way, I'm going down. And it scares me because I need support to sit up.
Yeah, dude, I can imagine. Um, One thing I have problems doing is the same. Um, Standing up straight or sitting up like you see me in this chair. I'm always kind of moving around, always kind of like readjusting them.
I do
Yeah, we
see
just
that.
did the same.
Yeah.
But that's because I I have the same thing. So like I'm leaning and I'm like, okay, I gotta lean where I'm leaning back. So sitting upright or standing upright,
I get
it
it.
does take a lot of core strength. And even not in a wheelchair, mine is starting to slip too. It's starting to go. Um, so it is scary. So one thing I was looking into was the chest strap
Yeah.
for the wheelchair because I'm like, well, if I can't hold my position, I'll just add another seatbelt or whatever. But then I'm like, well, what happens if I'm not holding it? Do I slide? And now I'm like locked into this chest strap, and like that's my concern,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I want it to stop me from going this way, not this way. So I got to
Yeah.
figure out some kind of like harness. But then you're like, great, now I have this harness,
Yeah.
and then from what you're saying, if you showed up with a harness on to keep you up in that chair, you would be wigging out because you'd be like, oh, the other you must think I'm dying.
So I feel like, and some people, okay, this is just in my head, but the more physically challenged you are, the more you have a physical issue going on with your body or whatever, the more physical issues that you have, the more mental,
No,
how do
keep
I
going.
put this?
I know what you're getting to, dude.
That people think. So if someone sees me in a chair strapped up and I can't even move, whatever, I'm really
Uh-huh.
physically not doing well. I feel like they think I'm also mentally not doing well.
Right.
So that might come across like an insult. I'm not trying to.
It I know what you're saying. Because so often we equate physical and mental together,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
strength or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's not true, but we do it all the time. And I don't know why. I guess that's how we're all programmed. But, clearly there are many, but is one shining example of the person who had a very public and um, very vivid physical transformation from start to finish. But his brain he's revered as one of the smartest people in the world, Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, of course.
So if you think about somebody like that, then you go, oh, okay. Then you go, oh, now that I remember they're not connected. Um, but I know personally, and probably for you as well, you feel like they're still connected that way, and you feel like people How many times do we talk about people treating you differently just because you're in a wheelchair, talking down to you, the baby talk, that kind of stuff? They slow
It always
down.
happens, man. Even in
Yeah.
the restaurant
Yep.
yesterday,
Really? Still?
but just the first sentence, and then when
Okay.
she realized that I'm
Right.
coherent and I'm talking, she, there everything switches. But right in the beginning, can I get you a
Yeah.
drink? It's very subtle and
See
almost,
the? Can you see that picture behind me there? The little
yeah,
signatures up there.
I
Okay.
see it.
So when I was getting those pictures signed,
Hmm.
the woman who was handling the names, so like they would write your name on a little post-it note, and then they would slide it over, and then you'd go over and meet them. Um, she was like, so I'm in my wheelchair, and she's like, so how do you spell your name? And I'm like, I know how. Like for real?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
get it. That's
So the more physical issues you have, like I said before, the more word it for me properly, bro. The more mental issues you have as well. That's what they assume,
right.
and that's what I feel. So I feel like the more issues I tell people about, or if I walk around with a seatbelt, you understand.
I do. I do. Because you feel like you're going to get treated differently or treated less than, because you think people are going to assume that your mental capacity is diminished because your physical is diminished. And that's for sure not the same. But
I
that's the
don't.
default that everybody treats everybody, right?
Yeah, I don't know why I have issues saying it as it is. Like,
Okay.
you know, yeah, I'm not able to keep my body upright. Yeah, my body's fatiguing out, and my stamina is going. And that's why I say I'm on my way out and all that stuff, is because I want people to be aware that this MS is real, man.
Hmm.
And I'm going through shit, and I'm okay, and I'm living through it every day, and I'm pushing through, but it's real,
It
you
is.
know?
Oh, speaking of living every day, you actually have some really positive news that you completely overlooked. Didn't you tell me about how you just got nominated to serve on?
I didn't get voted in yet.
Uh, you're gonna?
There's a
When's that
meeting coming
happening?
up. There's a
Well,
meeting coming up.
is it hard to get to?
It's uh
Like, does it take a lot for you to travel to them?
okay, our bus systems in this town suck. So if I need to take public transit,
Okay.
it's not easy.
No.
If I get a ride, it's easy, but I don't mind because again, in this town, you got to book the rides 3 days in advance. And it's got to be 3 days in advance. You can't do it 2 days. You can't do it 4 days.
Wow.
So if you're going on a Saturday, you got to call on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yes. And when you call on Wednesday morning, it's first come, first serve. So you got to call at 7 in the morning. And
That's right. You
most
were
of the
saying
times
that.
when you call 7 in the morning, you're on hold for an hour because there's so many people trying. And by the time you get to the person, usually the ride's full. They don't have enough, whatever the case is. And you're just like, well, what can I do? And they're like, well, next time, try again. There's nothing much you can do, right? You
Yikes.
can't call earlier than the line opens. Yeah, so it's easy, it's not easy, it's not predictable.
Well, I can't wait to hear about it.
Hopefully I have more energy to
Yeah,
talk about it next time.
I think you will.
Yeah.
I hit you with it late in the show.
No, it's okay. It's fine.
Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us and sticking with us through the entire show. Can't wait to see your drawings, hear your descriptions, send them over. We're still going to keep that going for another week, like Terry said.
Yep.
Um, please check out the Paralympics because they are really cool to watch. Those athletes are something else.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you soon, brother.
I'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, everybody.
So check us out at 40belowzero.com. That's 4 T below zero.com. Or feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is info@40belowzero.com. Our personal Instagram account are For Nix, it's Nix_V713. Or for Terry, it's What's_MS. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. We'll talk soon.